As VADA, let's write that into the rule book. If someone tests positive on VADA or UCAD or any other drug, immediately they get stopped from boxing. Or if they're allowed to fight this under the table, do you know what I mean? There's got to be rules for everybody and not just chop and change for one individual to the next individual, and that's the problem with it all.
Can you remember a time where you perhaps split with a fighter, like really before a big fight, like getting close to it?
Yeah, I think a couple of times over the years where, you know, for various reasons, you get pissed off or you don't have an argument, anything. Yeah, that's happened in the...
They might have fallen out over something, I don't know, but it's not likely because they get on so well. People will say, oh, is that disloyal of the fighter? But this is a money business.
His coach has officially quit camp after a massive blow-up over illegal supplements. This isn't just chaos, it's collapse. The man who was supposed to guide Ben out of controversy has walked away, leaving him exposed, scrambling and cornered. Excuses are running out, and the spotlight is burning hotter than ever.
I talk around this fight, that fight, until he gets licensed. You know, he ain't got a fight on the table. So we'll have to see, you know, and you know, he needs to get licensed by a commission to be able to fight. And you know, that's the next procedure that he needs to do.
Tony Sims stood by Conor Benn through every scandal, every failed test, every denial. But even loyalty has limits. After yet another drug test fiasco, Sims finally walked away. The humiliation was too much. No coach wants to defend a fighter who keeps sinking in his own mistakes.
At the moment, it's just ain't gonna happen at the minute. It's just too much going on, and there's too much back and forth, and it just ain't gonna happen at the minute.
Johnny Nelson couldn't have said it better. Tony Sims is a sharp, dedicated trainer who always plays fair, but in Ben's storm, even his goodness was used against him. That's the cruelty of this sport. Loyalty turns into a weapon when the fighter keeps crossing lines. I think Sims realized that staying meant sinking with Ben, and no trainer with his reputation could afford that. Walking away wasn't betrayal, it was survival.
A very smart trainer, and he gets it, he's passionate, but I think some people take advantage of his weakness, of being a nice guy, and I think that's...
Johnny Nelson's tone says it all. Confusion, disbelief, and a demand for answers. An inquiry isn't just talk anymore, it's necessary. Fans are done with half-truths, delays, and contradictions. If Ben truly passed one test but failed another, the sport can't move forward until that contradiction is resolved. The boxing world deserves transparency. Without it, every fight he steps into carries a cloud of doubt, and that's poison for both the fighter and the sport.
There is going to be, there needs to be an inquiry straight after this, why, what. But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes down, it'll be all over the place anyway. But all I can say is he passed the UK one.
Eddie Hearn's loyalty to Ben cuts deep, maybe too deep. His defense feels more emotional than factual, the kind of protection that blurs the line between friendship and business. But when the credibility of the sport is on the line, sentiment won't cut it. Fans aren't asking for sympathy, they're demanding transparency. And right now, Hearn's words aren't silencing the doubts, they're amplifying them.
See the facts. I believe that Conor Benn is innocent. Maybe it's because he's my mate, and maybe it's because you back your mate. Maybe it's because I've seen more than you've seen, both in his eyes and on the paper. But all I'm saying is, give him an opportunity, right, for things to be heard. And in this situation, someone said the other day that sometimes when you fail a drugs test, it's not innocent till proven guilty, it's guilty till proven innocent. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really make sense, but his case has to be heard, and everybody deserves a chance to have their case.
Frank Warren didn't mince his words. And why should he? This wasn't a small slip-up. It was deception in plain sight. When Warren speaks of lying and conning the public, it lands hard because it mirrors the frustration of every fan who once bought into Ben's redemption. Boxing survives on trust, the belief that victories are earned with sweat, not shortcuts. But if those signed papers really prove manipulation and cover-ups, then Ben's camp has stepped out of controversy and into outright corruption. Warren's comments aren't casual digs. They're a public indictment, and when rival promoters start calling out fraud this loudly, it's a sign the sport's integrity is hanging by a thread. Ben's silence doesn't shield him. It only deepens the suspicion that he's hiding far more than just one failed test.
They absolutely get caught out lying, out and out lying and conning the public. Documents signed by them, which as I say are subject to litigation.
And then Gareth A. Davies raised the stakes by bringing in the legal angle. The moment he mentioned legal representation, suspicions were confirmed. This isn't just a boxing scandal anymore. It's a courtroom drama in the making. When lawyers enter the picture, it's rarely about innocence. It's about damage control. It's about reshaping headlines, spinning narratives, and keeping a career alive on technicalities. But fans aren't buying it. Every statement now feels like PR strategy, not accountability. The longer this drags on, the worse it gets for Benn's reputation. The question isn't if he failed a test anymore. It's how he plans to explain it next. Even the loyalists are running out of patience, tired of contamination excuses, paperwork errors, and endless contradictions. Because let's be real, if Benn truly had nothing to hide, he wouldn't need a team of lawyers speaking for him.
He's already had lawyers for his scenario, for his situation. They've represented him. I did read briefly earlier that he did have representation from a legal...
Sir Oliver and Simon Jordan said what every clean fighter already knows. One strike should be enough. Boxing's entire credibility hangs on that principle. The second a fighter fails a test, trust is broken, and trust doesn't get patched up with excuses. There are no innocent mistakes when careers and legacies are on the line. These aren't backroom sparring checks. They're global stage safeguards built to protect fairness. Jordan's cold tone wasn't cruelty, it was justice. Because leniency doesn't correct the system, it corrupts it. Boxing has been here too many times. Too many failed tests, too many redemption tours built on shaky ground. When you cheat, you don't just taint your own name, you steal from every opponent who fought clean. Benn might still have loyal fans, but the wider boxing world knows the truth. If you cross the line once, you'll do it again. Accountability isn't punishment, it's the only thing that keeps the sport's soul intact.
I've always been strong on that. I've always been strong on the fact that I don't believe in giving them a second chance.
You're basically saying, no 3 strikes and you're out.
No 3 strikes
and you're out.
No.
One, you fail a test and gone ski.
Absolutely, because I just believe then that moving forward, people would think twice about doing it. If they think, well, you know what, I'll get a second chance anyway.
Spencer. Oliver and Simon Jordan voiced what every clean fighter has been screaming. One strike should be enough. Boxing's credibility depends on that principle. The moment a fighter fails a test, trust is shattered. There's no such thing as an innocent mistake when livelihoods and legacies are on the line. These aren't random gym tests. They're global stage checks meant to protect fairness. Jordan's tone was cold but justified. Leniency only encourages more accidents. The sport has seen too many excuses, too many comebacks built on controversy. When you cheat, you rob every opponent who played fair. Benn's fans might defend him, but the wider boxing community knows that if you bend the rules once, you'll do it again. Accountability isn't cruelty. It's what keeps the sport's soul intact.
Now, the fact that he's given back his licence to the British Boxing Board of Control, who in my opinion are the best governing body in the world, bar none, it's kind of like a proof of admission, certainly. And for him to do what he's done, you know, they're talking about contamination, right? So if you've done it once, then you got caught out, then you do it again. It can't be contamination, can it? Because he's been caught twice for doing the same thing. So if it was me, take his licence away.
And Chris Eubank Jr. said, what needed to be said, loud, raw, and without filters in a sport that's supposed to be about honor and hard work. Why should a man who failed a drug test still get treated like an equal? Eubank isn't just calling out Benn, he's calling out the system that keeps rewarding controversy. He's standing for every fighter who plays clean, cuts weight the right way, and steps into the ring with nothing but discipline. Eubank's tone wasn't hatred, it was justice. He's tired of seeing excuses wrapped in PR statements and fake tears. This was personal. Benn robbed Eubank of more than a fight. He robbed him of fairness. And now Eubank's message is clear. No forgiveness, no sympathy, and absolutely no 50-50 split for cheaters. The gloves are off, and so is the respect.
Drugs test, you don't get 50-50 split.
No. No matter commercial power pulling, no.
You don't get 50-50 split if you fail a drugs test.
Benn's words were heartbreaking. A father defending his son in the face of the world's judgment. You could feel the pain behind every line. To him, Conor isn't a scandal. He's a soldier lost in the fog, but love and loyalty can blur reality. Nigel's voice was raw, full of disbelief, clinging to the image of a clean, hard-working fighter. Yet boxing is cruel when evidence outweighs emotion. Fans sympathize with the father, but they doubt the fighter. It's the classic clash, family pride versus public proof. Nigel's plea wasn't just for Conor's innocence, it was for his legacy too. He doesn't want the Benn name, a name built on grit and glory, dragged through the mud of modern controversy. But the truth is ruthless. And as much as he wants to protect his son, even Nigel can't fight what the tests have already revealed.
Hi guys, as you know, we're in total shock. I've been with my son for the last 10 weeks and the training has just gone absolutely the best it could ever been. He's a dedicated trainer, he leaves no stone unturned, and we'll get to the bottom of this. I love my son. I know he don't cut no corners, he just goes straight at it 100%. But we'll keep you informed, we'll let you know what the next step is. But
Duke McKenzie's words cut like a blade. Calling Conor Benn's actions a slap in the face to his father hit harder than any punch in the ring. This wasn't just about a failed test anymore. It was about betrayal. Nigel Benn fought his entire career with honor, earning respect through sweat and discipline. For his son to tarnish that legacy is the kind of heartbreak no father deserves. Duke spoke not just with frustration at Conor, but with deep respect for Nigel, a man whose name should never have been dragged through this storm. It's one thing to disappoint fans. It's another to disgrace the man who built the foundation for your success. This scandal isn't just controversy, it's generational pain on public display. McKenzie didn't sound angry. He sounded sad. Because deep down, everyone knows Nigel Benn deserved better than this.
It's just wrong, in my book. You know what? I also think that, what he's done, it's like a slap in the face for his dad.
Teen Tony Bellew made it crystal clear, the rematch should never happen. And honestly, who could argue? Once a fighter's integrity is in doubt, the entire foundation of the fight crumbles. Bellew spoke as a fighter, not a promoter chasing headlines. He knows what it means to earn every round, to fight for respect, not redemption through scandal. And in his eyes, Conor Benn has lost more than momentum. His focus is gone, his confidence cracked, and his credibility shattered. There's no clean slate when fans no longer believe what they're watching. Bellew's tone was calm but firm, reflecting what the wider boxing community already feels. Enough is enough. Until Benn clears his name the right way, not with Instagram posts. Not with excuses, he doesn't deserve to share a ring with Chris Eubank Jr., a man who's kept his record, his reputation, and his honor intact.